So, for my first PC, I decided to go Intel, which I know, right? Crazy, right? Like, what am I thinking? Instead of getting a nice, cool 7700X, 9600X, shit, even a 9700X, I decided a 12900KS was better. And yeah, thinking back on it now, going AM5 would have been better, but I don't care. I always wanted an i9 as a kid. And when I saw this 12900KS, I just had to. Like, now let me preface this. I bought the CPU around mid to late 2024, so the CPU was worth more then. Like now it isn't as popular since it is like an old CPU even then, but it's still really good. Like I unknowingly bought the last good Intel gen. And what I mean by this is that there are other good generations that have come out after 12th gen, but they all have been plagued by certain issues. And I also did want to mention that the Ryzen 9000 series wasn't released when I got my CPU, so all that was available was 7000 series because I wanted a 7700X or a 7800X 3D, but they were just that 9800X 3D was too expensive, and yeah, I went with Intel, and I have been enjoying it. For Intel 13th and 14th generation, there's literally a whole fucking list of problems. First, let's start with the fact that they just fucking kill themselves. Like 13th and 14th gen will just blow up. All right, not blow up, but by now everyone has heard of the CPU degradation, and it is unheard of for a CPU to kill itself, paired with the oxidation issues of the 13th gen, and it's become a quality control nightmare. I will say though, the performance of this generation was impressive. Even now, 13th and 14th gen are still viable options, especially with DDR4 compatibility because the RAM shortage. I personally went DDR5, but that was like because my motherboard was DDR5, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna buy a new motherboard and then cheaper RAM. Like at that point, it would have been the same price to get DDR5. So I bit the bullet. Whatever. I digress. 13th and 14th gen are still viable, but only brand new. And that is granted, you need a good PSU and cooler, because we all know that these CPUs are power hungry little heaters. These things will easily pull over 100 watts, going up to 200 watts, which I can't really complain about since my CPU easily goes over 100, 150 watts, but I love my 12900KS. It's my baby for real. 13th and 14th gen had many issues that made them not as viable. They are a good performing generation, but the reliability isn't there. I will say this though, now it isn't a bad option to get 13th and 14th gen by Intel. Just get brand new. And no, I'm not a sponsor or anything. I just I like computer parts and shit. I just think it's interesting. I have only been talking about 13th and 14th gen Intel, but what about what came after? Man, what about it? Intel Core Ultra 200K series is good, but it's not a great competitor. And there are a few reasons. First, I will say this. Core Ultra 200K series is not bad and is still very viable. It just depends on the price. I remember recently there has been some crazy deals on like a 265K with the motherboard. So I understand if people get it. Shit, for the right price, I would have gotten one. But I'm happy with what I have. No need to complain. Anyways, I digress. The problems with the Core Ultra CPUs come from a few things. I would say the biggest reasons why Core Ultra 200K series isn't doing as good is subpar gaming performance. But this generation was more an efficiency generation where Intel dialed back the power and heat while still outputting similar, if not better, performance, especially in productivity. But that isn't the main thing. We care about gaming. Like I care, like productivity is cool, but like even I like come on, like I'm a gamer at heart. Like that's what I care about. The 285K struggles to beat a 4900K though. And the gaming performance isn't the only big problem, since there's something else that has aided in the lack of popularity, and that is the fact that Core Ultra 200K is a dead socket. It's not getting any new generations. Nothing. That socket will get a refresh, then fuck you. Like, which is low key crazy. But it's looking like Nova Lake will be Intel's comeback, which I hope so. Because I am not an Intel shill or an AMD shill. I just like computers. So that's why Intel needs to come back and maintain competition. I mean, we are already seeing AMD get comfortable and raise prices. Look at the 9850 X3D, which is quite literally AMD's KS moment. Like, it's just the same shit. I mean, I have a 12900 KS. Like both companies are not immune to this. We need competition from both sides. You see the shit Intel did, and we see the shit AMD did. Like, competition is, yeah, I'm beating a dead horse at this point, but we can't let it go on. Nova Lake by Intel and Zen 6 by AMD are looking to be good, but since those generations aren't scheduled to release till either hopefully later this year, but most likely next year, let's focus on what's available right now. Along with the dead end socket and subpar performance of Core Ultra 200K, it's competing with Zen 5. So Ryzen 9000 series, and it's no competition. The 9800X3D is the strongest gaming CPU, and it's ironic since AMD was getting clowned on for their Zen 5%, and I remember that shit. Then Core Ultra dropped, and we realized, damn, Intel really couldn't compete because like AMD came out with their Zen 5, and it was just look, it was not what people expected. They were expecting more of a generational uplift, but the efficiency was there and the performance still we still there was still a performance gain, and then compared to Intel, and it was no competition. Like, I personally probably should have gone AM5 for the upgradability, which I do partly regret, but maybe in the future I'll go AMD or get Nova Lake perhaps. It really all depends what's the king and really the landscape in the future, because right now it's very much so in AMD's favor, which is good. AMD has been doing very good with their CPUs. Those X3D CPUs, very impressive. Honestly, AMD has been showing that they are not the underdogs anymore, and they are pushing the boundaries of CPUs and like the technology, literally the cache. They like Intel's done that before, but like AMD really like they with their X3Ds they created the best gaming CPUs because Intel they just don't have enough cache. They need to up the cache, and then I'd honestly think slap more cache on a Core Ultra 200 285K, 265K, and that would be a crazy CPU. But who knows? I guess we're just gonna have to find out. After building my computer and being able to experience 12th gen Intel, I'll glaze the fuck out of it. This is mainly because it's in my computer, and this is my first desktop gaming computer, but I also really do like this gen. Like, the more I read into it, the more I realize this was one of the last good generations. Before this, Intel was on top, but they had been stagnant. They literally had been on 14 nanometer for like fucking 5, no, like 7 years. Like, so the CPUs were not getting the performance leap from generation to generation, and then on top of that they were stuck on 4 core CPUs, like not bringing 8 core CPUs to the mainstream people for cheaper. And then AMD dropped Ryzen, which was a massive competitor, bringing 8 core CPUs at an affordable price, which chef's kiss, beautiful. Intel stepped up their game and released their own 8 core CPUs, but it really came down to Intel trying to play catch up, stacking more cores, and even till now, the only time where Intel was back on like relatively on top was 12th generation or Alder Lake. This generation, Intel came back. They introduced the split with P cores and E cores, which is still an architecture used today. This generation also didn't see any of the problems future generations would have. It was kind of almost like a golden goose. Like, it was not perfect, but it was just like it was just a king in reliability, and it had honestly good gaming performance, very reliable, and wouldn't you know it, didn't self-destruct. So you could overclock the fuck out of it, undervolt it, do what you want, and it's perfect. Which I know isn't that crazy of requirements, but things kind of got cooked. Like looking back now, the 12900KS is the last i9 standing, since 13th and 14th gen i9s are cooked. Now, I am happy to be able to look back and see the timeline and low-key realize how lucky I am I went with 12th gen. Sure, I lost out on some E cores and performance, but I got reliability. I will have an i9 that I will deadass keep for the next fucking 5 years. This computer is my baby, and I will keep glazing it. I do think maybe I should have gone AMD. The 7700X was cheaper and would be a better upgrade path. My problem with upgrade paths though is like I might upgrade, I might not. It's not really set in stone. And if I don't upgrade the CPU, what I have right now is fine. And in the future, maybe I'll throw in a 14900K. But is it really worth it? Like, I'm happy with what I have right now. And I love my computer. It's my little war machine. So I will treasure it for real. Anyways, I think that's enough ranting. Thank you for joining me on another stupidly dumb rant. I hope you have a good day, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Bye!